Alright, how's it going everybody? Welcome back. It's time for some more wrestling chat here on CM42 TV, our weekly visit to the world of wrestling right here on this channel. Of course, I do it every single Sunday on my brand new wrestling podcast, The Wrestling Connection. It is available on all podcasting outlets and its very own YouTube channel. I'm getting messages on Facebook and it's distracting me. I'm going to mute that chat. Sorry, I'll be back. I'll be with you in a minute, group chat. I get so easily distracted on these things. Right, Money in the Bank is this Sunday. Hurrah! Can you believe it? Money in the Bank is always one of my favourite pay-per-views for the entire year. And much like WrestleMania, something seems to be missing. It just doesn't seem to be the same. And what is that thing that is missing? Just a little thing called normality, or I don't know, like an audience, or pyro, or lighting. I know there's lighting. I was going to say a stage. There's a stage. I was going to say barricades. There is a barricade, but it's just not what we know. Do you know what I mean? There's no audience, of course, for the foreseeable, you know. And yes, WrestleMania was great. WrestleMania really worked, and it benefited from in some aspects it benefited from like the Firefly Funhouse match and the Boneyard match and even the Last Man Standing match between Edge and Orton, which, by the way, they advertised for next week's Raw. Like Edge is going to be there and Edge and Orton are going to be together. Is that a rematch? I doubt it's going to be a rematch. Why would Edge have a random match, you know? But it'd be cool to see both of them again, especially Edge. So WrestleMania was one thing, and then we kind of all got through WrestleMania. And we went, right, okay, well that's that done, and that kind of, okay, give them the benefit of the doubt. It was a good show, kind of worked, it kind of, you know, they got through it, no bother. But now it's the, you know, life after WrestleMania. Like, what's next? Well, next is Money in the Bank, one of the biggest and most important pay-per-views of the year. You know, what we're going to do? We're going to do the exact same thing. I was going to say, are they going to try and do more cinematic matches? But they kind of are, aren't they? Like, with these Money in the Bank matches. Just from the top of my head, right? These Money in the Bank matches, they're both going to be happening at the same time. The male and female ones. They're going to be so much fun. Like, I just know they're going to be great. Like, I'm going to really enjoy them all. I'm going to enjoy both of them, or it. I think going at the same time. It is going to be weird, and it's not going to seem like a Money in the Bank match. You know what I mean? The Money in the Bank is always like this, like the green and white lighting, and like the ladders, the silver ladders are there, and there's always bodies lying everywhere, and the table gets broken, and the briefcase is there. That it looks like Money in the Bank, and you can tell it's Money in the Bank, and you can tell it's like the springtime / summertime. You know, that's what Money in the Bank looks like. This is not going to look like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. They actually like previewed what the headquarters looked like on Raw, and I didn't look at the screen during it because I want to be surprised. I want to be like, oh my god, that's a random room with this poster on the wall of something that happened 10 years ago. I don't know. I want to see these wee sort of special things that are in the headquarters. I want to see people's offices and that sort of thing. And I don't know. They're not going to go into Vince's office. You know what I mean? They might do Vince's office, but not like his real office. It's going to be cool. They're going to set up a lot of cool things. There's all these rumours online. Someone's getting thrown off Titan Towers. Maybe so. Who's it going to be? I don't know. Otis, maybe. King Corbin. I don't know. Rey Mysterio. Don't know. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Nice to see AJ Styles back after being buried, literally, at WrestleMania. So it's nice to see he's not dead and he's back. So he's the most logical winner of the Money in the Bank briefcase. I guess I'll do my predictions right now. I guess AJ Styles will win the men's one. The women's one, I'm assuming it's going to be Nia Jax because they're putting the push to her, even though she's going to be out injuring folk, because you get rewarded for that in wrestling apparently. Ask Bret Hart that. And so I guess it's going to be Nia Jax. It could very well be Lacey Evans. She's on a bit of a push. It could very well be Shayna Baszler. So the women's one is a bit more up in the air, literally, because they're going to be up in the air for this match. I believe it's probably going to be Nia Jax, but who knows. I'd love Asuka to win it, but I don't think she will. I love her promos, man. Asuka's promos on Raw are hilarious. And she's great as well. It's so funny, like Asuka went from this badass female wrestler in NXT that beat everybody to coming over to Raw and being this kind of like, she used to be great on NXT, but she's still undefeated. Then she lost. Then she was booked poorly. Then she was put in a tag team, and now she's like, I just don't care anymore. She's still awesome. She's still great in the ring, but she's just funny now. She's kind of not taking herself so seriously, and that's nice to see. My favourite Asuka was NXT Asuka, where she was beating Peyton Royce and Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler and Io Shirai. Not Io Shirai. She wasn't there yet. Anyone else that was in NXT at the time, she was beating them all, until whoever was dethroned. I guess she didn't. She retired as champion, and then was beaten by Charlotte at WrestleMania, which, by the way, was a great match, and WWE Network, I should say, I've been posting these best of WWE series things, which are great and I love them. It's like having DVDs without actually having the DVD. There's only best of Randy Orton, best of Edge, Roman Reigns' best WrestleMania matches, that sort of thing. So what they've been doing, they did best WWE matches of the decade, the 2010s, 2010 to 2019. And then they've done best Raw matches of the decade and best SmackDown matches of the decade. And Charlotte and Asuka from WrestleMania 34 isn't on there, and I was debating. I was like, I think that was my match of the year for 2018. Like, I should be on there. AJ Styles and John Cena from SummerSlam 2016 isn't on there. AJ Styles and John Cena from Royal Rumble 2017 isn't on there. There's so many ones they've left out. Their list is really fair, and actually we're going to be talking about that on an upcoming episode of The Wrestling Connection. Not this coming Sunday, but the week after. We're going to be doing that one. Our favourite matches of the 2010s and comparing it to the network one. But it's just crazy. Like, why are those? There's obvious ones like Punk and Cena and End of an Era, like they're on there, but like, I don't know. I was confused by that one. But anyway, doesn't matter. I digress as usual. I got there from Asuka being undefeated. So I think Nia Jax is going to win the Money in the Bank for the women's side, and AJ Styles will win the men's side. Title match wise, we got Drew's first defence, technically against the Big Show, which was after WrestleMania, but Drew's first proper title defence against Seth Rollins, and Rollins is doing some good work as a heel. It's a shame about AOP. They are cussed. They've got a great look. They've had great matches. They could be huge stars, but they keep getting injured. And they had that big return where they were cutting the promos in the native language and stuff, and then they came back and they were with Buddy Murphy and they were with Seth Rollins, and that was really cool. They were feuding with Samoa Joe and everyone, and then everybody got injured. That was like that Paul Heyman peak Raw sort of time. You had Joe Owens, the Viking Raiders, and then you had the Monday Night Messiah stuff, and you had Rey and Andrade on this side, and Rey Mysterio and Brock Lesnar over here, and then you had Drew and Randy Orton, and it was like these really cool matches. Becky Lynch and I guess Charlotte at the time, and whoever it was, Lacey Evans or whoever. It's kind of taken a bit of a, obviously because everything's happened and now wrestling's not the same anymore until we're back to normal, but even the story's just got a total detour because so many people get injured. Like Andrade gets suspended, and then Joe broke his nose again, and Kevin Owens has hurt his ankle again, and then the AOP are out, and it's been a bit of a disaster in terms of the injuries. But SmackDown's picking up though. I was worried a little bit about SmackDown. Since they moved to Fox, it's been like we have no clear direction. We're just going to do whatever we want every single week. Built like Nitro was in like the sort of mid-1999. But of course much better than that. There was no clear direction, but now it's a bit better. Maybe it's because it's the sort of, we're looking more at the stories. We're not thinking about the bigger picture because there's no crowd, and the sort of story we're going towards is more based in the ring or whatever. I don't know. But SmackDown seems to be on a bit more of a even playing field, which is cool, and I like that a lot because I've got a soft spot for SmackDown, I must say. But Raw's been my favourite show for ages. I've kind of talked about that before, Paul Heyman being in charge and that sort of thing, where actually it feels like we're going somewhere. We feel like we're actually trying to make stars and make rivalries, which is nice to see, Anyway, McIntyre versus Rollins for the WWE Championship. Come on, Tiff. Drew's got to win. Drew's got to retain. He can't lose his first title defence. I'm sorry. I like Seth as champion, but Drew's got to keep it until at least SummerSlam. And he needs to have a match in front of a crowd with the title. Then we have Braun Strowman, his first title defence, which is cool. He's finally world champion. But again, don't want to keep repeating myself, but it's like he's world champion. He's having his reign, but it's tainted because there's no people there. There's no main stuff happening. But he's wrestling Bray Wyatt for the title. Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend, Bray. So Strowman wins, no bother. Actually won't be that long of a match, and that may be quite cool seeing those two together because of the whole Wyatt family, past. But it's not the Fiend, and Bray Wyatt is beatable, so that'll be fine for Braun. Wonder who'll go up against next. Probably Corbin, and it'll be a bit kind of like, ugh, we had it again. But whatever. I guess we have to take the good with the bad. And then of course Jeff Hardy's coming back this week. Give me No More Words. Please come out to No More Words. One of my favourite wrestling theme songs of all time. Jeff Hardy is a babyface singles competitor now, and his song as a singles guy is No More Words by End Ever After. Please, you've got the rights, WWE. Has to happen. He's talked about it and stuff, on interviews, but it's not happened yet, Hope he comes out to that. So Jeff Hardy and Sheamus are going to be feuding for a bit, but I'd love to see Jeff come into the picture. Maybe he's the one that beats Strowman or The Fiend or someone, I don't know. That'd be great to see Jeff having that sort of world title run again. That stuff he did with Orton last year, or the year before. Brilliant. He even said like it made them feel important again. He loved it. There's such a good story, and Randy Orton doesn't get the credit he deserves, quite frankly. So that's that. Women's title match, we have Bayley versus Tamina. Tamina, who I'm sure is a nice lady. I'm sure she's nice. But wrestling-wise, she's one of my least favourite wrestlers ever. She's so boring. Has literally done nothing since she started. But she's going for the title. And she's been posting some funny videos on social media, so I'll give her that. But she's so bland and like does nothing, hardly moves. I don't like to hate on people, but I'm not a big Tamina guy. And Bayley, you know, as much as I don't think Bayley is a heel, Bayley, the character Bayley, is a babyface. She's been doing some good work, and I'm waiting for this Sasha turn. So it's going to be Sasha and Bayley. And what I would do is I would turn Bayley again and keep Sasha as the heel, but that's not going to happen. So I guess Bayley goes through Tamina, no bother. And there's a tag title match as well. Miz and Morrison versus Lucha House Party, the Forgotten Sons, and I think it was the Usos. Oh, with the New Day. Jimmy Uso's been injured, so there you go, that's another injury. And the New Day. The Forgotten Sons have been called up. Give me a pillow. I'm going to fall asleep. I usually am a big fan of all the NXT guys. Like all NXT talent I've always got a soft spot for. Forgotten Sons always have been and always will be people who are boring. Without being rude or anything or saying anything derogatory, they're boring. The Forgotten Sons. The name of the team proves that people don't even think about them. It's a bad name for a team. And they're boring. But it's Gunner from TNA, so that's alright. Gunner! I think that's it. I think that's all the matches. You know, the men's match is AJ, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, Otis, Corbin, and Rey Mysterio. Did I say Rey Mysterio? Don't know. Daniel Bryan. And the female one, we've got Asuka, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Carmella, Lacey Evans, and who's the third? Who's the last one? I can't remember. Oh man, I can't remember who's the last one. But that's going to be they're going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see them. Can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, there we go. There's my Money in the Bank 2020 predictions. Not quite the same as usual, but that's okay. It's the life we live right now, the world we live in. And I hope everybody enjoys the show. Remember, new wrestling podcast every single Sunday, The Wrestling Connection. Available wherever you listen to podcasts and right here on YouTube. Give it a search, a subscribe, a follow, a like, whatever you can do to help out the show. I'd really appreciate it. It's about general wrestling subjects. Like this upcoming Sunday is going to be our favourite wrestlers ever. This past Sunday was about our favourite experiences at live wrestling events. We're going to do the best matches of the 2010s episode. General topics, not individual topics. The individual current stuff is for right here on CM42 TV. The podcast is more generic, so go check it out there. Any wrestling fan can listen to it, whether you watch the current stuff or not. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at CM42 TV. Come give me a follow over there. Been more active on Instagram recently, so come give me a follow over there. And until next time, folks, thanks very much. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you all next time.